What if every morning you woke up was the last time truly meant for you? What would you do? How would you live in that moment? That question has stayed with me for years. At first, it was just a passing thought, one I quickly forgot, like so many things in a busy life. But slowly, it returned, each morning, in the quiet between the soft sunlight and the words my heart hadn't spoken yet. And I began to listen. If this really was the last moment meant only for me, I wouldn't want to start it with rush, worry, or obligation. I'd want to begin with myself. Not out of selfishness, but because I had forgotten myself for far too long. Since then, I've begun to live my mornings a little more gently, to breathe a little deeper, to listen a little closer. I choose to touch my heart first, before I touch the world. And in that moment, I smile, not because I have a reason, but simply because I'm still here, fully. I used to think I just needed more sleep, more energy, more time. But the truth was, I didn't need more, I needed different. My mornings weren't heavy because I lacked rest. They were heavy because I had been waking up for everyone but myself. Every day, I jumped into tasks, roles, messages, noise, without ever checking in with the person quietly waiting inside me. I had spent so many years living on autopilot, efficient, reliable, needed, but rarely present, rarely whole. It wasn't a dramatic moment, just a quiet pause one morning, when I asked myself, is this how I want to keep waking up for the rest of my life? And the answer was no. No more rushing into a day that didn't include me. No more starting from stress and giving away all my energy before I even remembered how I felt. That was the moment I knew something needed to shift. Not my schedule, not my alarm clock, but the way I returned to myself each morning. It didn't start with a big change. Just one small moment of choosing myself. Instead of reaching for my phone, I reached for my breath. I would sit at the edge of the bed, not to rush into the day, but to greet it. One hand on my heart, one deep breath in. No agenda, no pressure. That simple pause, just 30 seconds, reminded me that I was allowed to begin softly. I didn't have to earn my place in the day. I didn't need to prove anything before giving myself kindness. This one habit, as gentle as it seemed, was the first thread that pulled me back to myself. And over time, that thread began to weave a new kind of morning, one rooted not in tasks, but in tenderness. It didn't take much. Not a perfect routine, not hours of meditation, or a fancy morning plan. Just a few quiet things I did slowly, with care. Like soaking a warm washcloth and gently pressing it to my face, letting the warmth remind me I was here. Like opening the window and letting in the light, the breeze, the world, but only at the pace I could welcome it. Like brewing one simple cup of tea and sitting down just to drink. Not while answering emails, not while planning my day. Just tea. These rituals didn't fix everything, but they brought me back to something I'd long forgotten. The feeling of being with myself before being with the world. There was a time I thought I had to wake up cheerful, motivated, full of gratitude, like all the good morning advice said I should. But the truth is, some mornings I felt quiet. Some mornings I didn't feel strong or optimistic. And forcing joy only made me feel more disconnected. So I stopped trying to be positive, and I started choosing peace instead. That meant letting myself sit in silence, without guilt. It meant not needing to fix anything in the first 10 minutes of the day. It meant accepting that a calm morning can be sacred, even if nothing productive happens. There is something healing about letting the morning be what it is. Not a performance, but a soft return to the stillness inside me. And that return, over time, brought more real joy than any forced smile ever could. For so long, I believed I had to move fast in the morning. Stretch, exercise, get the blood flowing. That movement meant strength. That slowness meant weakness. But after 50, my body began asking for something else. Not a workout, not discipline, but presence. Some mornings, I just sat in bed, with my feet on the floor, feeling the ground beneath me. Some mornings, I moved, but not to burn calories, just to feel my body alive. A few steps, a stretch with music, a deep breath by the window. I stopped pushing. I started listening. And my body, the one I had ignored, criticized, and rushed for decades, slowly softened. Not just physically, but emotionally. I had spent so long telling my body to hurry up. Now, I finally whispered, "Take your time. I'm not going anywhere." It didn't come with fireworks. No sudden burst of energy. No dramatic, aha, moment. Joy came back quietly. So quietly, that I almost missed it. It was in the way I hummed softly, while making tea. In how I opened the curtains, just a little wider. In how I looked at myself in the mirror. Not to fix anything, but to acknowledge that I was still here. There was no applause. No one else noticed. But something inside me had begun to rise again. Not the old version of joy, the loud, bubbly kind that needed attention, but a gentler one. A steady light that glowed, just for me. And one morning, as I sat with my cup in hand, I realized I was smiling. Not for anyone, not to appear happy, just because I felt at peace. These days, I no longer wake up trying to meet the world's expectations. I wake up with something gentler. Intention. The intention to be kind to myself. To move slowly when I need to. To listen before I react. To begin each day, not from pressure, but from presence. My mornings aren't perfect. Some are still messy, rushed, or quiet in a heavy way. But they're mine. And that makes all the difference. Because when I start the day, by choosing myself, everything else begins to soften, too. And somehow, without even trying, I feel more alive than I have in years. Not everyone will understand why I changed the way I start my day. Not everyone will see that quiet as a sign of life returning. But to me, a gentle morning is the first gift I can offer myself. One deep breath, one still moment, one unhurried choice. If you're on your own journey of finding your way back to yourself, especially in the soft, ordinary mornings, I just want you to know, you're not alone. Heart of Calm is here to walk beside you, gently, reminding you that you deserve to live fully. From the very first moment of the day,